The collected papers of Charles Sanders Peirce continued, clarifying the idea of reality. In doing so, or trying to do so, Peirce arrived at the conclusion that, and I quote, the opinion which is fated to be ultimately agreed to by all who investigate is what we mean by the truth, and the object represented in this opinion is the real. End quote. In other words, those opinions to which systematic responsible investigators would finally give assent were the matter thoroughly investigated are true opinions. It was Peirce's dissatisfaction with the tender-minded versions of the pragmatic method that led him finally to give up the name pragmatism, which he invented, and to use in its place the term pragmaticism. Peirce's preference for the scientific method of inquiry is nowhere more clearly expressed and affirmed than in his early essay, The Fixation of Belief. Regarding the object of reasoning to be the discovery of new facts, by a consideration of facts already known, and having argued that a belief is a habit of action which appeases the irritation of doubt or indecisiveness, he went on to examine 4 methods of fixing belief: the method of tenacity, which is the method of stubbornly holding to a belief while resisting all criticism; the method of authority, which consists of punishing all dissenters; the a priori method, which depends on the inclination to believe whatever the facts of the matter; and finally, the method of science, which rests on the following assumption, and I quote, "There are real things whose characters are entirely independent of our opinions about them. Those realities affect our senses according to regular laws, and though our senses be as different as our relations to the objects, yet by taking advantage of the laws of perception, we can ascertain by reasoning how things really are, and any man, if he have sufficient experience and reason enough about it, will be led to the one true conclusion." End quote. Peirce strongly endorsed the scientific method of inquiry. He argued that no other method provided a way of determining the rightness or wrongness of the method of inquiry itself. The test of a procedure undertaken as scientific is the application of the method itself. In support of the realistic hypothesis on which the method of science is based, Peirce argued that the practice of the method in no way cast doubt on the truth of the hypothesis. Furthermore, everyone who approves of one method of fixing belief in preference to others tacitly admits that there are realities the method can uncover. The scientific method is widely used, and it is only ignorance that limits its use. And finally, the method of science has been so successful that belief in the hypothesis on which it rests has been strengthened proportionately. These passages should be of particular interest to those who suppose that Peirce, as the founder of pragmatism, was absolutely neutral in regard to commitments ordinarily regarded as metaphysical. He did not claim to know the truth of the realistic hypothesis, but it did seem to him eminently sensible, accounting for the manner in which nature forces experience upon us and making uniformity of opinion possible. However, his theory of cosmic evolution, which I will get onto soon, is a peculiar kind of realism. In the essay The Architecture of Theories, published in the Monist in January 1891, Peirce introduced the critical conceptions of first, second, and third, which he described as principles of logic, and by reference to which he developed his metaphysics of cosmic evolution. He defined the terms as follows, and I quote, "First is the conception of being or existing independent of anything else. Second is the conception of being relative to the conception of reaction with something else. Third is the conception of mediation, whereby a first and second are brought into relation." End quote. Arguing that philosophical theory should be built architectonically, Peirce offered the conceptions of first, second, and third as providing the logical principles of construction. Adequate theory, he maintained, would order the findings of the various sciences by the use of the principles of first, second, and third. Thus, in psychology, feeling is first sense of reaction, second, general conception, third, or mediation. Significantly, as a general feature of reality, chance is first law, is as second the tendency to take habits, as third. And Peirce maintained mind is first, matter is second, evolution is third. Peirce went on to sketch out the metaphysics which would be built by the use of these general conceptions. He wrote that this would be a cosmogonic philosophy, and that it would describe a universe which, beginning with irregular and unpersonalized feelings, would by chance, sporting here and there in pure arbitrariness, give rise to generalizing tendencies, which continuing would become habits and laws of the universe. Such a philosophy would claim is evolving towards a condition of perfect rationality and symmetry. Four more papers, all published in Cohen's selection. Excuse me. Chance, Love and Logic. That's the title of the selection. Develop the ideas introduced in the architecture of theories. They are the doctrine of necessity, examined the law of mind, man's glassy essence, and evolutionary love. Glassy essence, I think, is a quote from Shakespeare, but I haven't got the source here. I'll put it in the comments. In the doctrine of necessity examined, Peirce argued for the presence of chance in the universe, but Peirce's conception of chance was not the usual conception of the entirely uncaused and irregular acting without cause or reason. He wrote of chance as the form of a spontaneity which is to some degree regular, and he was careful to point out that he was not using the conception of chance as a principle of explanation, but as an element in the description of a universe in which there is the tendency to form habits and to produce regularities. The doctrine of absolute chance was named Tychism, and the doctrine of continuity was named Synechism. The essay The Law of Mind develops the latter doctrine. In The Law of Mind, Peirce argued that there is but one law of mind. Ideas spread affect other ideas, lose intensity, but gain generality. In the course of the article, Peirce developed the notion of an idea as an event in an individual consciousness. He argued that consciousness must take time and be in time, and consequently we are immediately conscious through an infinitesimal interval of time. Ideas are continuous, Peirce claimed, and there must be a continuity of intrinsic qualities of feeling so that particular feelings are present out of a continuum of other possibilities. Ideas affect one another, but to understand this, one must distinguish three elements within an idea. Firstness, secondness, thirdness make their appearance again. He obviously liked the number 3, which is sometimes said of Hegel. Anyway, firstness, secondness, and thirdness. The three elements are, first, the intrinsic quality of the idea as a feeling, its qual, that's Quale, the feeling. Second, the energy with the idea affects other ideas, its capacity to relate. And third, the tendency of an idea to become generalized, its tendency to be productive of law. Habits are established by induction, and general ideas are followed by the kind of reaction which followed the particular sensations that gave rise to the general idea. Mental phenomena come to be governed by law in the sense that some living idea, a conscious continuum of feeling, pervades the phenomena and affects other ideas. Peirce concluded the law of mind with the striking claim that matter is not dead, but it is mind hidebound with habits. That's his phrase, mind hidebound with habits. That's matter. In the essay, Man's Glassy Essence, Peirce argued that mind and matter are different aspects of a single feeling process. If something is considered in terms of its relations and reactions, it is regarded as matter, but if it is understood as feeling, it appears as consciousness. This is a more sophisticated philosophy than William James's radical empiricism, which resembles Peirce's hypothesis in some respects. A person is a particular kind of general idea. If it seems intolerable to suppose that matter is in some sense feeling or idea, one must at least consider that for Peirce, an idea must be considered not only in its firstness, but in its secondness and thirdness as well. In other words, an idea or feeling for Peirce is not simply a feeling, as such that is a feeling is more than its quality, its firstness. A feeling is more than its quality of firstness. A feeling is also that which has a tendency to relate to other feelings with which it comes in spatial and temporal contact, and it works with other feelings toward a regularity of development which can be known as law. It does not seem likely that Peirce can be properly interpreted so as to delight a physical realist who maintains that matter is in no way feeling or mind. But his philosophy is much more acceptable to one concerned with the multiplicity of physical phenomena than an idealism which regards ideas as static individuals existing only in their firstness, merely as feelings. In the essay Evolutionary Love, Peirce maintained that his cynicism, that's spelt Synechism, not cynicism, cynicism, calls for a principle of evolution that will account for creative growth. How is it that out of chaos so irregular that it seems inappropriate to say that anything exists, a universe of habit and law can emerge? Chance relations develop the relations, become habits, the habits become laws. Tychism, that's Tychism, that's Tychism. Tychism emphasizes the presence of chance. Cynicism emphasizes the development of relations through the continuity of ideas. And agapism, that's Agapasm, that's another one of Peirce's terms. Agapism emphasizes the evolutionary tendency in the universe. Thus we discover how the logical ordering principles of firstness, secondness, and thirdness make intelligible not only the idea, with its qual, its relatedness and its tendency to contribute to the development of law, but also the person who is a general idea, matter, which is mind hide-bound with habits, and the character of the universe. The logical principles become metaphysical. Peirce is important in contemporary thought primarily because of his pragmatic, logical and epistemological views. There is a great deal of material in the collected papers that remains to be explored, and those who would picture Peirce as the forerunner of linguistic and empirical philosophy, they can find much to support their claims in his essays. His metaphysics is regarded as interesting, though as pragmatically insignificant, but this is partly a matter of contemporary taste. When interest in metaphysics revives, assuming it already hasn't done, and there is no methodological reason why it cannot revive and be respectable, as we know, the metaphysics of Charles Sanders Peirce, his theory of cosmic evolution, or agapism, will certainly be reconsidered. And if any of my listeners have reconsidered it, please let me know in the comments. Thank you.